Analyzing classroom organization. Introduction. Effective classroom organization is a backbone of successful teaching. By strategically structuring the learning environment, educator can preemptively minimize disruptive student behavior, which often stems from feeling of academic inadequacy, while fostering a resilient, highly motivated atmosphere. Two critical dynamic force in the well-organized classroom include encouragement, the active validation of student potential, reinforcing belief in their capacity to grow and succeed. Intro the instructor instructional momentum, the seamless flow of a lesson that keeps students engaged and moving forward, even when encountering complex or challenging material. The core dimension of classroom analyticalizing how classroom functional required examining three interconnected pillars of pedagogy: the environment or milieu, the methodology or delivery, and the material or resources. The environment or milieu, the psychosocial climate of the room dictates how interpersonal relationships develop. A major factor within this environment is teacher expectation theory, which is categorized how educators interact with a student based on perceived abilities. Overreactive approach. Teachers have heavily favor high achievers, allowing them to dominate discussion. The frequent underestimate struggling students and give up on them prematurely. Reactive approach. Teachers are not explicitly negative or rigid, but they are passive. They accept how low performance as a unchangeable trait rather than actively intervening, leading to the unintentional neglect of students who need help. Proactive approach. Teachers take immediate initiative to overcome learning barrier. They design realistic individual pathway and deliberately structure activities to ensure balanced participation from both high and low achievers. Rules versus routines. The environment is further stabilized by two behavioral frameworks. For the first one is classroom rule, explicit boundaries that state formal behavior expectation. They clearly define what is acceptable and what is prohibited. Classroom routines, predictable sequence that regulate daily activities. Smooth routines reduce cognitive overload. They help students plan their work and balance the academical agenda with social harmony. Number two, the methodology or delivery. Instructional method must remain highly adapted to accommodate deserved learning capacities. Educator must intentionally decide when to utilize whole class interaction, small group collaboration, or individualized learning pathway. This methodological choice directly influences how physical furniture layout and spatial design are configured. Number three, the materials or resources. When preparing curriculum, resources, and lesson content, teachers should audit their material using three fundamental criteria. Relevance. Does this work directly align with the deserved need of every student? Engagement. Is the content presented is an intrinsically interesting and stimulating format? Number three, pacing. Is there an appropriate volume of material to effectively fill the allocated instructional period? Problem number one. Mr. Eleazar repeatedly had problem when leading a class discussion with his junior high school student. No matter how involved in the topic of the student were, There were usually several students sitting in the back who would talk, shout out silly answers, and play with objects they had brought from home. For the answer, Mr. Eleazar problem happened because several students were not fully engaged in the learning process and classroom rules were not strongly enforced. Also, many students were interested in the discussion topic. The student sitting in the back distracted others by talking loudly, shouting silly answer, and playing with objects. This behavior reduces of the effectiveness of discussion and disrupt the learning atmosphere. Students often become disruptive become when they feel less supervised or less involved in classroom activities. Sitting at the back may give them the feeling that the teacher pays less attention to them. In addition, if classroom expectations are unclear, students may think their behavior is acceptable. Therefore, the problem is not only caused by the student themselves, but also the classroom management issues. To solve this problem, Mr. Eleazar sought and established the clear classroom rules and consequences. Before starting discussion, he can also raise the sitting position so disruptive students can sit closer to him. Another effective solution is involving all students actively through group discussion, questioning technique or assigning responsibilities during the lesson. By increasing student participation and supervision, the classroom environment can become more disciplined and productive. Problem number 2. Stefano was one of the most provocative and disruptive students Miss Giandra had ever taught. Throughout class, he continuously talked to girls and teased students sitting near him. He made inappropriate and sarcastic remarks in response to almost anything Miss Giandra said. When confronted by her, Stefano grinned charmingly and responded with exaggerated courtesy to the delight of other students. For the answer, Stefano showed provocative and disruptive behavior throughout the class. He talked constantly, teased classmates, and made sarcastic comments toward Miss Giandra. His polite but exaggerated response after being corrected entertained the class and encouraged further disruption. This situation weakened the teacher authority and distracted students from learning. Stefano's behavior may motivated by the desire for attention and social recognition from his classmates. Since other students loved and enjoyed his behavior, he received positive reinforcement, making him continue acting disruptively. If the teacher react emotionally or publicly argue with him, the situation may become worse because it gives him more attention. To solve this problem, Ms. Gandra should respond calmly and consistently. She should avoid giving excessive public attention to his behavior and instead apply clear disciplinary action privately when necessary. Positive reinforcement can also be used when Stefano behaves appropriately. In addition, involving him in meaningful classroom responsibilities may help redirect his energy to into productive behavior. Through firmness, continuously, and positive guidance, his destructive behavior can gradually decrease. Problem number 3. Miss Yeskila was cornered about the frequent teasing that had begun in her class. It reached the point where there was constant bickering among the students. They became so angry, began yelling, shouting, and shoving one another during class. For the answer, Miss Yeskila faced serious classroom conflict caused by frequent teasing among students. The teasing developed into a constant argument, yelling, shouting, and even physical posing during the class. This situation created an unsafe and uncomfortable learning environment for anyone. Continuous teasing can damage relationship among students and increase emotional tension. When negative behavior is ignored too long, students may believe such an action are normal or acceptable as emotion build up. Small disagreement can quickly turn into serious conflict. This problem shows that the classroom lacks mutual respect and emotional control. To solve this issue, Ms. Yaskila should immediately establish rules about respectful behavior and communication. He should discuss with the student the negative effect of teasing and encourage empathy among classmates. Conflict resolution activities, cooperation group work, and classroom discussion about respect can help improve relationship. If necessary, students involved in a serious conflict should receive counseling or mediation by creating a supportive and respectful classroom culture. The level of conflict can be reduced and students can learn more peacefully.